Hey there, YouTube. Good evening. Cheers. So right now it's Wednesday, July 26th, about 9:20 in the evening. Not sure when I'll be posting this, but just thought I'd get on and talk for a minute. I actually got home from the hospital a couple of days ago. So today is Wednesday. I got home Monday night from the hospital. So a part of this, we'll be talking about some records, but just when something happens, I think it's a wake up call, and so I just felt compelled to just encourage folks to go get checked out and don't wait until things uh, get bad. And so please excuse my beard. I was sick for a couple of weeks before I went in the hospital and just not shaving, but ultimately what happened was a week ago yesterday. Well, I developed a cough about 3 weeks ago, and it was a really bad cough after some cold symptoms. I thought maybe it was COVID because my mom had been diagnosed with COVID, and I had been to visit with her. But then those symptoms went away after a couple of days. So I stopped taking the cold medicine, and I don't know, maybe Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, a couple of weeks ago, I just, a few days after I was better, I developed this cough, and it was really intense, and I waited a couple of days, took cough syrup and nothing, and then waited, and it just got progressively worse. And whereas I should have gone to the doctor and got it checked out, I did not. And so on Sunday, not this past Sunday, but the previous Sunday, I was having a hard time breathing, and so I got up and I went to church, and I just, I believe in the power of prayer, of course, though we do have to be interactive. And so one of the other associate ministers after service and she looked so disappointed in me. She said, "You got to take better care of yourself. You don't look good." And I said, "I know, but I have to go to work today. I'm working my part-time job. I just work that job one day a week, so I have to go to work today." And so Monday, I said, "Well, maybe I'll go." But then I think Monday I had to babysit for my grandson. So I don't remember, but by Tuesday, uh, I was feeling really bad, but then I started feeling better. And so Tuesday, I think it was, I babysat for my grandson, and it was an okay day. I needed a fan on me almost all the time to catch my breath, but I was breathing. But Tuesday evening, I was literally just sitting here, almost gasping for air, and so I finally broke down and called 911. Thank God they came in a few minutes, and a fire truck came first with some oxygen, and then a few minutes later the medics came and they took me to the hospital, and ended up being pneumonia in both of my lungs with some sepsis. So that could have been really serious. I ended up on oxygen in the hospital from Tuesday evening until the following Monday, and so I was on oxygen until I think Sunday night they started taking the oxygen off. I was, I think, on 7 liters, and I was still sometimes barely able to catch my breath in the beginning. And so by the grace of God, we made it through. But while I was in the hospital, and this is the importance of getting checked, I also learned that I am diabetic, and so now I'm starting life as a diabetic. By the grace of God, though, my blood sugar levels, as they tested them, they were between 90 and 150. But the steroids that they were giving me to clear the fluid, they said that raises blood sugar. So before they really amped up the steroids, my blood sugar was more between 90 and 120. And I just checked it earlier today, just getting used to life with my new friend here, my my what I now use to use this camera to check my blood sugar a couple of times a day. I take this everywhere I go now. It's more important than my cell phone. Um, and so my blood sugar was just a little over 100. So it's they say with diet and exercise, it should go away. I also learned I have sleep apnea, which is something else, another thing of diet and exercise can absolutely reverse that. And so the last week, I've given up soda. I've had 1 8-ounce can of ginger ale the entire last week. When I went into the hospital, I didn't know that I was diabetic. Well, I had a feeling because I would get the tingling in my fingers and toes sometimes. I feel like pins going in there, but I just didn't want to face reality. And sometimes we run, and I was very blessed in the sense that essentially the uh, pneumonia saved me because if I had to let the diabetes go and get worse and not make changes, I could have passed out or something even worse. So it ended up being a blessing in disguise. And so I am just so grateful to God for the revelation of I didn't want to know. I just felt like being diabetic. My mom is pre-diabetic, and one of my older sisters is pre-diabetic, and I just felt like I don't want to have to. You got to prick your finger, and God forbid you have to take the medicine. But it's not that bad. It really isn't. The finger sticks. I'm getting used to it. Sometimes I feel almost nothing, and other times it's just a little pinch that lasts for a second. And if I just have to test twice a day, 2 seconds of discomfort a day, really in the end can save my life and can bring longevity to life. So I just want to encourage everyone out there, get tested, go to the doctor. One of the things that stopped me was I lost my job 3 months ago. I had dropped the insurance. Our company got bought out. I think it was in 2017. And whereas before we had great Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance, had it for the family, my wife, and at the time my daughter, who's now 22, was still on the insurance. I think I was paying $175 a pay period for great coverage. Had hardly any copays. And in the end, the insurance, the new owner switched to this last insurance they had was terrible. It would have been for just me and my wife $400 a pay period, and it was like a telehealth type thing. You didn't actually go to a doctor; you saw a doctor on the internet, and that was the plan. It was horrible, and so not having health insurance was a detector for me. But all those years I did have a health insurance. I hadn't been to the doctor. I hadn't seen a medical professional since 2012. 11 years. So even when I had insurance, I wasn't going. But don't let that deter you. Again, you know how God works. I have a new job. I haven't started it yet, although I'm working in it. It's for a nonprofit. We're waiting for the funding to come through. It's just now seeming to come through. But being unemployed now, I should probably be able to get Obamacare at a pretty decent rate. I couldn't get it at a good rate before because even though I had access to health insurance through work, even though it was terrible insurance, that was really ridiculously overpriced. So I'm going to get some health insurance and not let it go, and just make sure that I'm getting checked out. So please, everyone out there, get checked out. If you haven't been to the doctor, don't be like me. 11 years. And the only reason I was going to the doctor before, the last company that I worked for, they brought in the doctor to the office. And so they had folks that came out, they did the blood work and screenings, all of that during the work day. And you got an extra hour off during the day for the health screening that was just held on a different floor in the office. So, and then you got your lab results online, and they had all kinds of programs. You know, I've struggled with weight for probably 14, 15 years now. So they had weight loss things that you can do, and it worked for me. I actually did lose some weight before. I learned then I was pre-diabetic, and so I had to really be careful. And so that was one of the reasons why I lost weight before. So please do what you have to do. Go to the doctor, get checked out. But again, life with diabetes, it's not the end of the world. I have to go back for a sleep study test to get one of those CPAP machines, but I'm trying to lose some weight, and hopefully I won't need it. I gave up soda. I'm drinking primarily water, but I got, some of these sparkling. This is lemonade, a strawberry lemonade, and it's 5 calories, and it's 2 grams of sugar, which isn't too bad. So I drink maybe one of these a day, and then I drink primarily just water throughout the day. So cheers. I was going to include some music in this, but I'm just going to make a part 2 to this. Life is rough out there. Let's just try to do the best that we can do. I firmly believe, regardless of your religious beliefs, political beliefs, socio or economic circumstance, that only love can conquer hatred. And so I believe that if we just practice love and compassion and show humanity and just be patient with one another. You may not agree with my politics. You may not agree with my religion. I may not agree with your religion or with your politics or with your social views. But it's not the end of the world. And I think if we find some common ground in each other, it helps us to get along on the back end when we find the things that we do have in common. And we can actually have conversations among people, civilized conversations among people. I really firmly believe that this world would be a much better place. So may God bless and keep each and every one of you who are believers. To those who are not, I hope that your higher power brings comfort or security and joy to your life. And I wish you all the best. Amen. God bless.